Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our 2026 Era of Hope honoree, Dr. Erica Grabinski.
I grew up in Chicago, and we were over at their house all the time, all the holidays. And most of my memories with my grandfather in particular are at the kitchen table where he taught us how to play rummy and cards. He was always a big history guy. He loved to tell us stories of battles and the Civil War and all these, so much history. And I remember him sitting us down and telling us these long drawn out stories. And we were like, please, can we go play? He was a tough guy, but deep down with us, his kids, his grandkids, he was very soft, very funny. To everyone else, he was this, hardcore Chicago cop, but to us, he was Papa. He was very soft. From a very young age, I always knew that I loved the elderly population. I don't know why. I think everyone loved babies and kids, and I was like, I just love grandmas and grandpas. So when I was in high school, I volunteered across the street from my high school was an assisted living facility, and there was a memory care unit in particular. I think I knew my calling was to take care of the elderly even when I was 16.
It's interesting because I knew from the time she was young that she wanted to do something special. She really knew how the elderly felt and what they needed and, how to care for them. So I think that's when I saw the transition over.
He started showing signs when I was probably in high school. They were very subtle things. Wandering off, forgetting directions on the way home, very subtle things that we didn't really pick up on. So being, 16 to 18 years old and seeing that sort of personality change certainly cued me into, well, what's going on? This isn't normal, this isn't him. So something's happening, I don't know what it is. We don't know as a family what's going on. We were at a family party, and my grandfather was, probably mid-diagnosis, 5 years in, and my grandmother had a moment where she just got overwhelmed. I think everything kind of hit her at once, and she had to go into the kitchen, and I followed after her, and she got emotional, and I just sat there with her. And I do remember thinking, I've never seen this reaction. I've never seen this sort of weak moment. And I don't exactly know what to do except just sit here and support. And I didn't have any answers. There was this sort of, I'm trying to help and I don't know what I can do. And what can I do? How can I be there? There's one memory in particular that sticks out in my mind. It was the pumpkin patch, where we went every year. I was in my first year of medical school at that time. So he passed in my second year of medical school. So it was very close to his death. And we went to this restaurant after, and I was a bit emotional. And I think I was struggling with school at the time, and there was so much uncertainty in my life. And yeah. So he always used to call me kid, and he said to me, he said, I pray for you every day, kid. Not for a successful career, but for a good life. And it stuck. So, and there's a picture actually of that day.
There's one moment that it was about time where we meet each other's families, and I was going to California to see my side, and I invited Erica, and she said yes. And so we went to, it was Persian New Year, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's where all my family gets together. It's a big family, lots of different families. And brought her, introduced her, and I started mingling, and I started looking around. I'm like, where's Erica? And I walked around, and for I think an hour or two, she was just sitting in the corner with my grandmother. And she actually ended up just staying there all night with her.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and I saw that, and I just knew it. She was special. So
See, I didn't know anybody, and I just gravitated towards who I felt the
Yeah.
most comfortable with, which happened to be his grandmother, who speaks mostly Farsi, and so we just had a great little time. It's humbling, it's rewarding, and I think it just goes to show that impact lasts generations, right? You know, my papa was diagnosed. I watched my mom struggle, and now here I am, a doctor caring for families going through that same struggle. I think the legacy that I want to continue in my papa's honor is actually one of hope. I think as a physician, as a person who's lived through it, I can help continue that hope. I think I can advocate for more research and awareness. I think that we can hope for a better future in terms of Alzheimer's. When I think back on that moment of him telling me, you know, I pray for, not for a successful career, but for a good life, I think that resonates so strongly. As a granddaughter, my hope is emotional, and as a doctor, my hope is in science. So it really does kind of feel very full circle, and I want to keep doing the best I can every day.